Ladies and gentlemen, content creators of every stripe, lean in for a moment and imagine this. 10 seconds after you tap publish, tens of thousands of strangers are already leaning back in their chairs, phones held inches from their faces, shaking their heads and whispering, "You've got to see this." That is not luck. That is not magic. That, my friends, is engineering. See, the world is scrolling at the speed of boredom. The algorithm doesn't reward the talented, it rewards the strategic. And strategy begins with a formula, one that takes ordinary footage and transforms it into a digital magnet. If you want your video to go viral, the first and most critical rule is this: lead with immediate value and hook the viewer inside the first 3 seconds. That's not a recommendation, it's a requirement in today's attention deficit world. We're no longer competing with just other creators. We're battling every distraction on a person's phone. Your video isn't starting at zero, it's starting at a disadvantage, and those first 3 seconds are your only shot to earn the right to be watched. This isn't the time for long intros, logos, or slow build-ups. You must come in hot, come in real, and come in fast. Why? Because the average viewer has been conditioned to scroll the moment they feel boredom or irrelevance creeping in. That's the instinct you're fighting. You have 3 seconds to either disrupt that pattern or disappear into the void. So what does it mean to deliver value in 3 seconds? It means showing people you're solving a problem they care about, telling them something surprising, making them feel something instantly. Whether that's curiosity, shock, laughter, or connection, value doesn't always mean education. Value can be emotion, inspiration, or entertainment. But it must be clear, ambiguity is the enemy of attention. The brain is wired to notice change, tension, and relief. That means your opening frame must spark a question or promise a payoff. For example, start with a bold statement. You're editing your videos wrong, and it's costing you thousands of views. That's a pattern interrupt. The viewer was expecting fluff. You gave them friction. Now they're listening. Or begin with a relatable pain. If you've ever spent 5 hours filming a video that no one watched, this is for you. That's resonance. People stick around when they feel understood. You're telling them, "I see you and I've got you." Another effective method is starting mid-action with the moment of impact instead of the setup. Don't show the build-up to the surprise. Start with the surprise. Then reverse engineer the story on platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Those first seconds are life or death for your content, and the algorithm knows. If viewers swipe away in the opening moments, your video gets buried. But if they stay, if they engage, if they watch even a few seconds longer than average, you've just signaled to the platform that this content deserves to spread. This is why scripting and intentional planning are not optional if you want consistent virality. You must decide in advance, what's the hook? What is the specific outcome or emotion I'm delivering right away? You don't need fancy equipment to do this. You need clarity, courage, and repetition. Say it sharp. Say it quick. Say it in a way that stops the scroll. If someone can't tell what the video is about in under 3 seconds, you've lost. But if you win those seconds, the rest of the video can deliver on the promise. And that's how virality begins. To make your videos go viral, you need to craft a micro story arc in every single one, regardless of how short or casual it may seem. The secret lies in building 3 essential elements into your content: intrigue, escalation, and reward. These are not abstract storytelling principles reserved for Hollywood scripts. They are psychological triggers that pull people in and keep them there. Think of them as the emotional glue that binds your viewer to your video. The moment you understand how to layer these into even a 15-second clip, your content goes from forgettable to magnetic. Start with intrigue. This is the spark. The moment that grabs attention not by yelling louder, but by opening a loop that the brain wants to close. It could be a question, a mystery, an unexpected visual, or a bold claim that demands explanation. When someone feels like there's something they don't yet know or understand, curiosity takes over. Curiosity is powerful. It bypasses skepticism, it overrides distractions, it makes someone choose your video over the infinite scroll. That's the gateway you need to open before anything else can happen. Once you've pulled them in with intrigue, the next step is escalation. Escalation is where the tension builds. This is where the stakes rise and the viewer senses that the answer, the punchline, or the payoff is just around the corner, but not quite yet. You're guiding them deeper into the story, keeping their attention engaged while subtly increasing their emotional investment. Escalation can take many forms depending on your content. In a tutorial, it might be the gradual revelation of steps, each one more useful than the last. In a motivational video, it could be the rising intensity of your delivery or the personal nature of your story. In humor, it's the setup that makes the punchline even sharper. What matters most is that you don't give everything away at once. You pace your content with intention, allowing the viewer to lean in further, feeling that each second is building towards something bigger. Then comes the reward. This is the moment your viewer was waiting for, whether they realized it or not. This could be the final transformation, the solution to the problem, the payoff line, or even a visual twist they didn't see coming. The reward must feel worth the time they just invested. When people feel satisfied at the end of your video, they're more likely to share it, comment on it, and watch it again. That's the real engine behind virality, emotion plus memory. And if you land that ending just right, your content sticks not just in someone's algorithm, but in their mind. When you combine all three, an opening that intrigues, a middle that escalates tension, and an ending that delivers, you create a self-contained story loop that taps into how the brain is wired to consume information. It doesn't matter if your video is 10 seconds or 10 minutes. Without a story arc, you're just pushing noise. With one, you're creating resonance. And that's what people come back for. Editing your video for heartbeat level pacing is one of the most underrated yet powerful strategies to maximize watch time retention. In a world where viewers decide within seconds whether to stay or swipe, the rhythm of your video becomes just as important as the content itself. Think of pacing like a heartbeat, not too slow to feel lifeless, not too fast to feel chaotic, but always present, always moving, always alive. When your video breathes with a pulse, it keeps people locked in because their attention matches your rhythm. Every second must justify its existence, or it risks becoming a point of exit. The pacing of your edit tells the brain, this is worth your time. The first rule of pacing is intentionality. Every cut, every transition, every pause must serve a purpose. If you're adding a 3-second pause, it better be deliberate to build suspense or give emotional weight. If you're switching angles or visuals, it needs to either refresh the viewer's attention or reinforce what's being said. Modern attention spans are not just short, they're brutal. You're not just trying to keep someone watching. You're competing against the next dopamine hit just a flick away. Your pacing becomes the beat that dances with that instinct. Too slow and you lose them. Too busy and they check out from overwhelm. But get it just right and you build a flow they can't look away from. Jump cuts are a key tool in this process. When used correctly, they slice out dead space and keep the visual energy moving. You eliminate every glance off camera, every unnecessary breath that slows the rhythm. It makes your delivery feel tighter, more confident, more alive. But don't just cut for the sake of cutting. Every beat needs to align with an emotional or informational shift. Use pattern interrupts, quick flashes of B-roll, text overlays, unexpected sound effects to break viewer autopilot. The brain perks up when something new enters the frame. Use that to your advantage, not randomly, but strategically, like a drummer hitting the snare right before the chorus. Captions, too, play a huge role in pacing. Dynamic captions that appear one word or phrase at a time, synced perfectly with your voice, create a visual beat that mirrors the auditory rhythm. They keep the eye moving, the ear engaged, and the mind following. This isn't decoration, it's structure, it's scaffolding that holds attention from start to finish. Great pacing also understands when to pause, a beat of silence, a close-up, a slight zoom-in. These moments add contrast and let the important parts breathe. Just like a good song has quiet moments between the highs, your edit needs space to land the message. Watch time is not a function of length, it's a function of energy, and energy is managed through pacing. Get your pacing to match the heartbeat of your viewers' curiosity, and they'll stay with you to the very end. They'll watch again, they'll share, and that's when the algorithm steps in and takes your video from seen to viral. Speak from genuine experience. Authenticity outperforms polish. That single principle has the power to transform how your videos connect with people, not just reach them, but truly move them. In a world obsessed with aesthetics, filters, and perfect lighting, what cuts through isn't how good your video looks. It's how real you are. Authenticity is magnetic. People crave realness. They can tell in a heartbeat whether you're speaking from truth or from a script designed to impress. And the second they sense something's off, they disconnect. No amount of editing, lighting, or production can compensate for a lack of sincerity. When you speak from genuine experience, something shifts. Your tone changes, your eyes say more than your words. You're not trying to perform, you're trying to connect. That's what people respond to. Viewers don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. They need to feel like you've been there, like you've lived the thing you're talking about. Whether you're teaching, inspiring, storytelling, or entertaining, your message hits harder when it comes from your own earned perspective. There's a huge difference between repeating information and transferring insight. Insight has weight because it's forged through real moments, successes, failures, hard lessons, and personal breakthroughs. You don't have to package your experience in dramatic storytelling. Just speak plainly, directly, and honestly. Instead of pretending to be an expert in everything, share what you've actually done, what you've learned, and where you're still figuring it out. People respect vulnerability more than polish. They'd rather watch someone stumble through their truth than glide through a performance. Vulnerability doesn't mean oversharing, it means showing up without the mask. It means not being afraid to say, here's what I got wrong, or I used to believe this, but I learned better. That's when your audience leans in. That's when trust is built. In a sea of curated content, the creators who win long-term are the ones who choose honesty over illusion. And the beautiful thing is, authenticity actually scales better. You don't have to maintain a persona. You don't have to keep up a brand that doesn't match your actual life. You just show up as yourself over and over again. That's sustainable, that's powerful, that's memorable. When someone watches your video and feels like they know you, not just what you teach or say, but who you are, they're far more likely to stick around, subscribe, share, and return. Even your imperfections can work in your favor. The little stumbles in your speech, the way you laugh at your own jokes, the moment you get emotional, those are not flaws. Those are human moments, and they are far more engaging than polished delivery. Authenticity invites connection, and connection, not perfection, is the foundation of impact. So the next time you hit record, don't ask yourself how to look better. Ask yourself how to be more honest. Share what's real, speak from where you've actually been, and trust that your audience will feel the difference, because they absolutely will. Repurpose and distribute across multiple surfaces to multiply reach. That's not just a growth tactic. It's a strategic necessity in today's content economy. Too many creators make the mistake of putting everything into one video, hitting publish, and then moving on to the next idea when it doesn't immediately explode. But if your content is only living in one format on one platform, you're leaving 80% of your potential audience untouched. The most successful creators understand that one video isn't just one video, it's raw material. It's a source of leverage, and if you learn to slice it, remix it, and deploy it across multiple platforms, you're no longer depending on luck. You're building a system that works for you long after the camera turns off. Think of your core video as the pillar. Maybe it's a 3-minute YouTube short, a 60-second Instagram reel, or a 10-minute value-packed video. That single piece should be strategically structured to create multiple content assets. Take the best 10 seconds where you make a bold claim, drop a quotable insight, or show a compelling result, and turn that into a vertical clip for TikTok. Find the sentence that delivers the most emotional punch and make it into a graphic post for Instagram or a quote card for LinkedIn. Pull the main takeaway and expand it into a carousel with step-by-step visuals. Use behind-the-scenes clips or outtakes for Instagram stories or Snapchat. Extract the core message and turn it into a short email for your list. Every piece of content is a seed. You just need to plant it in more places. Different platforms serve different types of attention. YouTube gives you longer form discovery. Instagram gives you short bursts of visual storytelling. TikTok gives you viral potential with 0 followers. LinkedIn gives you professional credibility. X, formerly Twitter, lets you test ideas fast and build conversation. Email gives you ownership, and podcasts let you build deep, intimate trust. If you're serious about growth, you need to meet your audience where they are, not expect them to gather in one place. But repurposing isn't just about copying and pasting, it's about reframing. What works on TikTok might feel too fast for LinkedIn. What works in a newsletter might be too dense for Instagram. You have to tailor the delivery while preserving the core message. That means adjusting tone, format, length, and even context. A single piece of content can have a dozen lives, each customized for the platform it lives on. And every surface you distribute to creates another path back to your brand, your mission, your message. When you repurpose with intention, you're not just chasing reach or engineering relevance. You're allowing your message to echo across the digital landscape, showing up again and again until your name becomes familiar and your voice becomes trusted. Multiplying distribution multiplies opportunity. The more places your message lives, the more lives it touches. That's how you build momentum. That's how you stop being a content creator and start becoming a movement. Study your analytics, iterate ruthlessly, and turn visibility into impact. Creating viral videos is not just about chasing views, it's about understanding what works, why it works, and how to do it better each time. Analytics are not just numbers on a dashboard, they are the voice of your audience telling you what they care about, what they connect with, and where they tune out. Every like, comment, watch duration, and drop off point is a clue. If you ignore those clues, you're guessing. If you study them, you're building with data. The creators who grow consistently aren't the ones who just create more. They're the ones who learn faster. You have to become obsessed with the feedback loop. When a video performs well, don't just celebrate, dissect it. What was said in the first 3 seconds? What kind of hook did you use? What was the pacing like? What emotion did you spark? Who commented and what did they say? And when a video underperforms, don't be discouraged. Be curious. Where did people drop off? Was it the delivery? Was the message unclear? Was the thumbnail too weak? The algorithm isn't biased against you. It's reflecting how your content makes people feel, and your job is to listen closely and adjust intentionally. Iteration is not about reinventing the wheel every time. It's about refining the details, making tiny adjustments that compound over time. That might mean changing the order of your storytelling, adding more motion to your edits, or tweaking the first line of your hook. Small shifts can make massive differences in watch time and engagement. Ruthless iteration means letting go of what you thought would work and leaning into what the audience is actually responding to. It means treating each post as a prototype, not a finished product. There is no such thing as a perfect video, only a video that teaches you what to do next. Visibility alone is not success. Getting views is only the first step. Turning those views into something meaningful is what separates creators who fade from those who build something lasting. Impact happens when you use visibility to drive trust, loyalty, and transformation. That means making content that doesn't just entertain, but educates, inspires, or shifts perspective. It means guiding viewers to take action, whether that's subscribing, sharing, buying, or simply remembering your name. Metrics like views and likes are useful, but they're surface level. Impact is measured in comments that say, "This changed how I think," or "I needed this today." When you track those moments and reverse engineer what led to them, you build not just an audience, but a movement. None of this happens by accident. It happens through disciplined attention, honest evaluation, and constant improvement. The truth is, the algorithm rewards creators who pay attention. So study the data, iterate like a scientist, and use your visibility not just to go viral, but to create videos that leave a mark. That's how you turn reach into resonance and clicks into change.